All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Euphoria Games Offensive Combat stream.
I'm Jeremy Dunham. I am the manager of community and narrative here at Euphoria, and the guy who introed us is...
I'm Michael Shore. I'm the lead game designer on Offensive Combat.
And we're joined today by a new person, someone who hasn't been with us.
I'm Dan McDonald, the gameplay lead, or one of the developers on Offensive Combat.
There you go. And we just crashed to start things off, so take that. As we set up our game for the first time today, we're actually going to have some new content to show you. A couple new weapons and a new set of body parts, correct?
A new character, yep.
And as we're setting that up, which I'm going to step away from the mic to fix a little technical error, Michael can talk to you a little bit about it.
Yeah, we have 3 new weapons. We have a new version of the M82 Ferret sniper rifle called the Sahara. We have a new version of the Vendetta 9mm pistol, which is called the STD. We have a new melee weapon, which is called the Feather Duster. It is a dead parrot, or an ex-parrot. And as you can see there, we have a new character. Can you turn that? Yeah. You can excuse Chris. He's our player today. He's had a little too much for lunch. And we have a new character here, the pirate. He's definitely got the biggest wood in the room. So. And Jeremy's back. And one of the features of the STD is that it does more cockshot damage, as you might expect an STD to do.
Exactly. And for those of you who aren't aware, Offensive Combat does have cockshot damage in addition to headshot damage. And that's, I think that's because of a strange fetish that Michael has. Is that correct?
That is not correct.
No? Okay, I was just checking.
Jeremy thinks that on Fridays all the rules are off, and it's not true.
All the shirts are off, so
all the shirts are
we're
off.
on our way. So, other than the STD, what are some of the other new weapons that we can expect to play?
Well, while you're away, I told them about the M82 Sahara, which is the sniper rifle, the Ferret version with a new skin. I told them about the STD, and I told them about the new Feather Duster, which is a dead parrot, or an ex-parrot, as we like to say.
So what we're going to do now is we are going to drop you into a new match and show off some of the weapons. Just one little bit of a caveat here is we are doing it on an internal test server since the content isn't live yet, which means that the loading takes a little bit longer than it would take you if you were playing it in the live game. So bear with us on that one. But in the meantime, one thing to keep in mind, one thing that we're doing right now that we think is going to be really beneficial is if you sign into offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com and sign up for the beta between now and, let's say, 11:59 p.m. Eastern tonight, you will get into the beta. We will guarantee that you get your code. You'll send it. It could take up to an hour or two for you to receive your code after you submit it, but you can expect it. Chris, if you could do us one favor, if you could turn down the in-game audio a little bit.
Do that.
And did we let everyone know who's playing the game for us?
A new player today, Chris Vanderleest. He's one of our environment artists, and a good player to boot. So he will be taking care of biz.
So there you go. And this map here, can you tell us a little bit about this map that we're seeing at the moment?
This is Hydroponic. It's one of our our Halo-style maps. Which features jump pads and elevators that you can do elevator boosts off of and whatnot. We've been featuring a lot of the ground-based maps before, and we wanted to start off with something that was a little different. This is actually the oldest map in the game. Cockshot right away. Look at that. STD for the win. This map has existed in the game. This is the first map that actually made it into the game just over a year ago.
Dan, we're getting a question right off the bat. Can you let us know what it says?
Yeah, so closed beta, getting keys where?
So, in case you're just joining us, the place to get your keys are euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com. And on both websites, we have a little box there that says beta sign up that allows you to put in your email address. And if you do that between now and 11:59 p.m. tonight, Eastern Time, you will get a beta key, absolutely. Guarantee it'll be sent to you, and might take up to an hour or two to get, depending on the volume, but that's when you can expect to see them.
And there is also, you might have noticed at the top of the stream, there is a banner that kind of echoes that same sentiment. And that the banner, of course, will stick around throughout the entire stream.
And again, once again, we are on a test server, so looks like we have a slight hiccup for handling.
Yes. Yeah.
And we're gonna we see that some folks are letting us know that the game audio is not on, so we're gonna turn that on. Just 1 second here. The knocks that you hear are us just moving the headset around.
Where it's supposed to.
Is this on EU? Is a question for Jarek. Michael, we are technically not in EU, but are. Can you explain a little bit about that?
We don't have region-specific servers, but at the same time, we don't have locks on where you can join from. So we do have plenty of EU players right now. Our servers are on the east coast of the United States, yeah, as Rich Lem 2 has said, he plays from the UK and it's fine. So we are getting good ping. So yeah, if you're from the EU, please join, please try, please sign up. And we have forums. You know, if you have a good time, whatnot, give us feedback. We'd love to hear it.
So, Michael, there's a question. What would you say is the main selling point of the game?
It's free to play. It's in a browser. Console quality in a browser. It's fun. It has a lot. I think it has a lot of depth to it that you wouldn't expect from a console, from a browser game.
Fun is the key, right? It's
super
the
fun.
fact that it's a competitive level game, console quality in terms of not only the way it plays, but its visuals, I think says a lot. And because it's free to play, you don't really have to make any long-term investments to sit down and give it a try. You can just see it, play it, think, and if you like it, you can keep playing. And I think that's one of our more unusual aspects, is the fact that unlike a lot of free-to-play games, you don't have to pay money in order to play. You can literally play the game without ever paying 1 cent since you can earn stuff with in-game coin rather than credit. We have that too, of course, but
yeah, our philosophy has always been from the get-go, time for money. Ouch, backstab. You know, Fred754 is wondering where babies come from, and you know, when a Call of Duty player and a Halo player love each other very much, things.
Come on, that never happens.
Things can happen.
But that never happens. So usually they adopt.
No, as it stands now, the population is at risk. One thing I like about the game is that it has a sense of humor. When you're playing Call of Duty, you're playing Halo. These are games with very strong themes, and they take them very seriously. It's a very serious sci-fi game. It's a very serious war shooter. We are the furthest thing from serious, in a way. And so we're not afraid to have fun with our characters, have fun with our in-game accomplishments. We're here to have fun.
We pay you coin for teabagging people when you kill them. I don't think you can get much further away from serious than that.
But what I think separates us from a lot of other games that usually have a sense of humor is the fact that while the tone and a lot of the stuff that we do visually is comedic and funny, the gameplay is definitely something that we wanted to be effective and serious in nature, something that true competitive game players can enjoy.
Yeah, the gameplay isn't so irreverent that you can't have a competitive time.
So, what was the inspiration of this style of fun in the game, Michael?
For this style of fun? Well, my history as a developer goes way back to the Unreal Mod community. I've been doing this for over 10 years. So, definitely, you know, there's a lot of Unreal Mods out there that are funny and hilarious. And there was I forget what it's called now, but there was one, it was like Extreme Weapons or something, and they just had the craziest weapons you could, you know, they had you could shoot babies out of a grenade launcher and they'd bounce around and explode and stuff like that. So kind of
Family fun.
family fun for sure. Going back to those days a little bit for me was, at least personally, my inspiration. Everyone on this team had a huge input into where this game ended up now. So, Unreal was mine. I'm sure, Time Splitters was other people's inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of SOCOM games. That's where I come from. The SOCOM Mag Unit 13 games, and also I'm a big Call of Duty player too. I enjoy playing those games, and I like that sort of level of accessibility and emphasis on action. And I think that's what attracted me to this game, is that we have a little bit of everything in there, but it doesn't feel like it's thrown in there just for the heck of it. It's actually fun to play, and it's balanced, and it makes sense. And I think that's one of the things that I'm really excited to let more people play, and why, for those of you who are just joining us, you can go to offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com, stick your email in that beta sign-up page, and we will definitely send you a key tonight. Before 11:59 p.m. Eastern is the cutoff, so make sure you get it in there by then. Dan, we have, looks like some more questions.
Sure, yeah. One of the questions was, how did he select a different pwn mid-game?
If you hold down the pwn key, it brings up a wheel it brings up your selections. You have a pwn loadout of 4 pwns.
Can you show them how to do that, Chris?
After he gets killed.
If he gets killed.
If he gets. So yeah.
So there you see that screen popped up where we had the option to select this pwn, and you can change your pwns in between matches too. You can select whichever ones you might have unlocked or purchased with in-game coin. You can go ahead and add the ones that you want.
Yeah.
So one of the bigger questions here, hard question for most devs. If you had to compare this to a modern game, what would it be? And when you said Time Splitters, I was immediately sold. What are the influences for offensive combat?
Well, modern games, for sure. Like I've said before, we've kind of got a little bit of Halo in here with jump pads and elevators, along with characters that are very Halo-esque. But we also have a little bit of Call of Duty in there. Our perk system is reminiscent of that. A lot of the ground-based maps that we have are reminiscent of Call of Duty, or would fit right into that world.
And I would argue, actually, that Time Splitters is a modern game. Even though there hasn't been one in a while, the gameplay was definitely very good and fun. The only thing that it really didn't have that a lot of modern games have is a lot of the super connectivity and social options that a lot of the more modern shooters have. So I think that we still have that sort of gameplay vein, but we've updated the way that you communicate and play with other players.
Yep.
Yeah, to sign up for beta keys, you can go to offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com and look for the red sign up for the beta text and enter your email. And if you sign up within the next hour or so, we'll be sure to get you a key.
Also, if you need that website, we did disable the website links in the chat, just so that no one will spam you with unwanted links. But on the scroll at the top of the image, you can see that we're pointing you exactly what you have to do with the rules and the location you do to get your key. So if you just see it up there and you're curious, that's where you need to head.
So a lot of people draw comparisons between TF2 and this game. Would you care to comment on that? How much was TF2 an influence? Where do you think that's coming from?
Well, for one, I think the art style can definitely, there are comparisons there. And I know our artists would not argue with that, and in fact, one of our senior artists is definitely, he's actually made, he's made more than hats. He's actually, I think he made gosh, was it the Australian, the crocodile? He made the crocodile sniper outfit in TF2. So yeah, we all love TF2, and it's a great game. But another thing besides the art is just the simplicity, or the apparent simplicity of TF2, and then when you dig in, the complexity. Like, I love that duality where you don't need to necessarily go in deep to have a good time. But if you want to, and you want to explore all those stats on crits and whatnot, you can, and it's sort of, you choose how you want to play it and be totally competitive both ways.
So our goal is to deliver console quality in a browser, which begs the question, what are the minimum system requirements?
You could answer that better than I.
Well, 3 Magic, this is for you. Right now, our base graphics card, we're looking for 512 megs of video RAM. We do have different quality levels in the game, so we'll fall back to shader model 2.0 if your card can't handle it. That's not out on live yet, so if you need to send screaming emails that it doesn't run on your machine on a 512 meg card, send them to CArcher@euphoriagames.com.
But that change, the shader update is going out probably sometime next week.
Yeah, very soon, very short. In the next update, that'll go out.
But we played on all manner of computers here. Our studio head, Chris Archer, he likes to show the game off on his somewhat old MacBook Pro, and we play it on a multitude of different machines here. I think that part of the beta process is actually determining exactly what those system requirements are going to be and finding out what will be the optimal way to run it and what's the minimum. So we're still working on that, but I would definitely recommend that you at least have a video card. If you have an integrated chipset, it's probably not going to run so well.
Yeah, your netbook, this is probably not going to be a game that you're going to be able to play on your netbook. But anything with a decent video card is going to be able to run it.
And this, we're getting another question from, well, actually a lot of people basically saying that a bunch of crap. They're just arguing with each other, which is great.
That's great. I like polarized and passionate opinions about games. It's what makes the world go round.
Are there EU servers?
Not yet. Right now, all of our servers are on the East Coast of America, but once getting to the future, we will have regional servers.
The plan is once we get out of closed beta and we head into open beta that we'll start opening up more regions. Right now, since we're based in the U.S., we're starting smaller, and it is U.S. based, but we do have European players, and so the experience may not be crystal clear for them in terms of their connectivity. They are playing, and they do seem to be having a good experience for those who get in.
Yeah, I haven't seen any complaints when I've been playing or on the forums about really bad ping when playing from over there. I think it's what you might expect, but still a good experience.
Right. So Boro221 says basically anyone who plays actual games can run this quite well. Yeah, that's it. If you're a hardcore gamer and you have a gaming rig and you stream stuff on Twitch TV, you have the necessary requirements to play this game. The only hiccup I've seen is that sometimes players with SLIs in their machines running 2 video cards, the Unity web player prefers to run on just one, and so sometimes you'll see a performance increase by actually disabling the SLI.
Runic86 wants to know if we can play the beta right now. It is closed, but you can get in as long as you submit your request for a beta before 11:59 p.m. tonight Eastern Time. We have it in that scroll at the top of the page, but just to have it out there, euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com. Drop your email address in there, and we'll hook you up with keys sometime later today.
Yep.
Hi, War Machine.
Boy Punks, maybe I'm saying that wrong, says no jump damage. I think he means fall damage, and he wants to know if he can turn off poning.
Well, there's no fall damage, and that's intentional, and no, you can't turn off poning because that's actually a big element of the game. Michael, you can talk about that a little bit?
It's integral to the game. You don't have to pwn, but if someone kills you and they want to pwn you, you can't avoid that.
And you do get bonuses that and help your character out for poning. What are they?
You get XP. If you successfully pwn someone, you get as much XP as you would for actually killing them. So you're doubling your XP by pwning them.
And you get money.
And we'll give you 10 coin.
Shades of Gravy says he's having a hard time playing the game. Yep, this is closed beta, and we are working on things all the time. So if you're having a bad experience, please log into our forums, let us know. We're passionate about fixing it and making this game run as good as possible for everyone. Scalari9 asked, so this is Unity? Yes, it does require the Unity plugin, but we've done a lot of work to make this game look and feel great. We've rewritten the lighting model. We've got our own shaders in there. It's a very deep customization in terms of what you can do with Unity.
What do the coins do is a question that Abound has.
Well, the coins in closed beta, that is the sole form of currency used to purchase and rent items in the marketplace. So if you want to buy or rent weapons that are different from the default loadout, you need to use coin. If you want to customize your character with something different than the default character, you need to use coins, etc.
And that begs an important question, and it came up earlier, we just didn't address it then, but with money that involves buying your weapons, in-game or not, is this a pay-to-win game? Is this a game that you have to spend money in order to be better than everyone else? What have we done to level the playing field, and is that our approach?
From day one, we have designed this game as a free-to-play game, but not a pay-to-win game. Our philosophy has always been, literally from day one, like before we even had documents, it was time for money. So if you have the time, you can play the game, you can earn coin, and you can buy or rent anything in the game. If you don't have that time, say you're me, I don't have time to earn all that coin. I can spend
He's too
some
busy talking on
I'm
live streams.
Too busy designing the game and talking on streams. You don't have the time, you can spend some cash and get those weapons or those items, those consumables and whatnot.
And one thing to be noted about our load times here, if you're just joining us, you didn't see earlier, we're playing this version on an internal server since we're showing off some of the new content, and as a result, it does not load as fast as the closed beta that's on our live server right now. So bear with us if you see that load screen take longer. It does not take that long in the actual game, as any of our closed beta testers can tell you.
So Llama looks.
No.
Oh,
I
go
want to
ahead.
answer this one. Conlin TV has asked, do the purchase amounts, not rent, reflect what they will likely be at launch? They seem quite large. That's what she said. But we just had this discussion yesterday.
A long discussion.
And the purchase amounts they were arbitrarily high. They will not be that high in-game. There still will be an amount of time that you're going to need to grind away to purchase something with coin. We're not going to make it super easy, but the current prices are incredibly high. So yes, they will come down probably for open beta.
So there's been a couple questions that have gone by in the chat about, WTF does browser-based mean? So this means that this game literally runs in a web page. So if you go to offensivecombat.com and you have a sign-in, you click play and the game starts running right there in the web page. If you want, you can run the game full screen. There's a full screen option, and you'll probably forget that you're actually running it in a browser. But in terms of it being in a browser, this game you'll be able to get in and play very, very quickly because it loads right there in the web page.
I'm Boone asks, why not make the cash shop cosmetic instead of weapons? Seems pay to win to buy a good weapon early on without having to earn it. Well, our weapons are balanced fairly flatly. So weapons that reload faster have less firing rate or a smaller mag or something like that. So basically with weapons you gain one thing and you lose another thing. Our weapon balancer is this guy Blaine. We grabbed him from the SOCOM team. He's fantastic. If anyone knows how to balance weapons, it's that guy.
For those of you who are wondering, also, when we were at Zipper together, he was also the guy that did a lot of the co-op stuff. He knows co-op, he knows weapons, he knows what he's doing. And we trust him wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the imp wants to know about his password. He's forgotten it. Or he's forgotten his username.
We'll look it up and let you know in just a couple
there's actually
seconds.
a feature. No, there's a feature on there's a feature on the site. If you go to offensivecombat.com and look below the green sign-in button, there's actually a little link there that says retrieve my account info.
But in touching on that question earlier about why not make the purchases cosmetic, we do have those too. You can upgrade the way your character looks with all the body parts, one of which is the pirate, which is the piece of content we're debuting for the first time today. And we can do everything from changing your head, to your hands, to your arms, to your legs, to your chest, to changing the pones that we showed earlier, which are the things like teabagging or Tebow Baggins or the My Little Pony and a bunch of other little ways to taunt your opponent.
I like this. Stymio 1. It's not pay to win, it's play to win. The more you play, the better you get. That's totally right.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So we do have, now it's interesting that we are talking about high-powered weapons because, as you can see, we have a super weapon right here. Michael, can you talk a little bit about super weapons, how you get them, how they show up, how much stronger they are than a normal weapon,
Yeah.
etc.?
Super weapons are they're placed by the level designer. They're in the levels. You can't get them in the marketplace or anything like that. You actually have to play the level, and they only appear every few minutes. We have 2 of them in game right now. We have that's the FU chain gun, and we also have the Cyclops rocket launcher, and they're actually both in this map, and they're pretty powerful. The rocket launcher is a one-shot kill with a pretty wide area of effect. A lot of splash damage. The FU chain gun is the fastest firing gun in the game. I think it's 30 rounds per second, and it does an incredible amount of damage. And if you happen to pick up the double damage, the damage amp that we have in the level as well, you can just mow through a crowd of people.
So Oipunks asks, how many of you are at work right now? Oh, I thought he was asking how many people were on the team. Yeah, the team size question, we get a fair amount. We're actually a very small team compared to what you would normally expect to be working on a game of this caliber. We are approximately 6 developers, about 8 artists, and 3 designers. Four designers. See, yeah, we're not really keeping track, but it's a very small team. We all sit in the same room together. We play test this game pretty much daily, and yeah, it's a lot of fun to work on.
Jimmy Needles is asking about modes. Currently in closed beta, we have free-for-all, team deathmatch, capture point, and capture the flag. In the future, we will be expanding upon those, hopefully adding in server options for custom gameplay, so if you want to fire up a server and play pistols only, you'll be able to do that, etc. So more to come. We'll also be bringing on some co-op modes and stuff like that to really keep it fresh and interesting.
Dan, Ravager48 wants to know if the game has an instant report system to deal with players who hack or use glitches. That's actually a good question in regards to hacks and glitches in general, but also the player report system.
Sure, yeah. So we've taken steps in developing the game to really deliver a quality service in a competitive environment. So to that end, we've created an authoritative server. A lot of times when you're playing an FPS, especially one that runs in the browser, a lot of time there's only very light verification of the network communication going between the various players, and a lot of times that makes it very easy to hack the game. So we've went to great lengths to be able to prevent that type of activity. There are occasionally still we're optimizing our network protocols for better performance and better overall experience for players. If you're having issues and you're seeing things that just doesn't seem right and it's not playing the way you think it should, by all means, there's a feedback tab on the site itself. We check it every day, and the forums. Most of the team members, I would say, are reading the forums. So if you post, someone on the dev team is going to look at it, and we will get your feedback.
Patrick Kane is GOAT. It says, according to the top scroll, all I have to do is sign up for the newsletter and get a beta key. Yes. If you do that before 11:59 p.m. tonight Eastern Time, all you have to do is sign up for the newsletter and you will get a beta key. And it could take up to an hour or two to get it, but you will get it.
A couple of questions. One on map creation. There's been a couple questions about map creation. Our plan in the future is to get the community involved, both in terms of map creation and item creation. So we won't be able to do that before we launch, but it will come online. It's a huge priority for me. And another question, Playwright, do we get to keep our items from beta once the game comes out? I don't believe that the transition from closed beta to open beta will allow people to keep their items or their level, but
And the main reason for that is because there's going to be a lot of balancing changes, both economically and in terms of the way the weapons work.
exactly
Correct.
Yeah, but we are going to do something nice for everyone who's participated in the closed beta. We don't know what that is yet. It could be some different permanent guns in addition to the default weapons.
Yeah.
But we want to definitely, everyone that's participated, it's a huge help to us, and we want to make sure that we thank you appropriately.
Yep.
So we will do something nice.
And there are a lot of questions about guns in general in this particular stream. And since that came up, one thing that we launched a couple days ago is the official Offensive Combat Wiki, which right now lists every weapon in the game that we have and every class. And IGN.com is actually nice enough to host that for us. So if you wanted to check out the official list of weapons, there is an Offensive Combat Wiki on IGN.com that you can check out. It has the complete list of everything.
So what's the Sinner PT asks? So what's the main selling point to attract the normal FPS shooter players? What do you think will make them leave their other FPS shooters to join yours? I think initially just people will become because it's different and it's fun and it's irreverent and it's zany and they'll want to check it out. Your other shooter doesn't have a cock shot, and it probably doesn't have the type of pones that we have, and it's just fun to check out. And I hope that people will get addicted to the fast load times, just how easy it is to get in a game and be playing with your friends. I don't expect this to be something where people would leave their Call of Duty or their Halo en masse, but they might be surprised that they find themselves playing it more and more often just because it's so easy to get into.
The number one focus for us as a team is just for people to have fun. We're not. I mean, I'm coming. This is from the guy who writes all the narrative stuff. I'm the narrative guy, and we don't have that much narrative. The whole idea is that we don't want to overwhelm you with a storyline or do anything like that. We want to give you an experience where you can sit down and just have fun playing with your friends. That is the foremost of importance to us, and that is what I think is one of the big differentiators. We're not trying to shove 800 different features into a single game just to have bullet points on the back of a box. Number one, we don't have to worry about a box, and number two, we don't need that, I think, in order for people to have fun. They just want to sit down and have nicely designed levels, balanced weapons, and ability to play with their friends, and I think that's what we're giving them.
And to tie that in, like, they can play with their friends on a PC or a Mac. This is a browser shooter. It's in a browser. The head of our studio, Chris Archer, our chief creative officer, he plays on a MacBook in Safari and plays just fine. He's actually remarkably adept at using the touchpad, which blows my mind. But whenever he kills me and he's using the touchpad, it's like we should have a touchpad pwn just for him to let you know that he wasn't even using a mouse.
And if you are using, let's say that you have a phone or a tablet and you're curious about how this game runs, we are going to have a tie-in of some sort, which we don't really have details on yet, but we are going to eventually start talking about it. We are going to have supporting elements on those devices as well.
And the IMP, if you're still having problems getting your account name, make an account on our forums at forums.offensivecombat.com, and we'd be happy to get you figured out and get you sorted and getting back into your account.
VG Zilix wants to know if we're going to have cash tournaments to try to make it an esport. Well, we don't have anything specific to talk about in that regard, but we are going to be at QuakeCon, and that's all we can say for now. So just keep that in mind. We'll more on that next week.
Yeah, Mad Brink vibes. Definitely, there's some members of the art team who had a lot of respect for Brink, so and the art direction that they had there. So yeah, we'll happily be compared to Brink.
This is the uncomfortable silence where we all look for questions we haven't answered yet. So I think it's a good time to let people know who have asked if you're just joining. Yes, you can get into the beta key by heading to offensivecombat.com or euphoriagames.com. Just put your email in that box there and we'll get you one today. The one caveat is the only way to guarantee yourself a closed beta key is by signing up before 11:59 p.m. Eastern. That would be 8:59 p.m. Pacific time.
So Michael, Llama Lips has been asking, is there anything Time Splitters drawn from this? He's asked this several times.
I wouldn't say directly. I would say the spirit of Time Splitters lives on to some degree in this game, but we didn't reference it directly. Just we have someone one of the designers on the team worked on Nulf, and it kind of the Nulf to Time Splitters to.
That's No One Lives Forever.
No One Lives Forever. Yeah, sorry. Dev speak.
Yeah.
So I mean, we didn't necessarily look at that. When we put all these irreverent and kind of comical elements, we just sort of drew from our experience and what made us laugh and what we thought would be funny for other people. And so I think you're seeing that come through, but there was nothing direct from Time Splitters. I think that Time Splitters was maybe made by a similar group of guys.
Abound asks, what is the thing circling in the sky?
Chris, can you aim in the sky and show them the scoreboard? So the idea behind that, Dan, is that it's an easily accessible scoreboard to see what? What do you see up there?
It'll tell you who's in the lead, who most needs to be pwned by you. So that's just a fun thing that we wanted to put in to keep the game feeling lighthearted and kind of sports oriented. So you can see, just a glance up there, see who's running who's the current odds-on winner, leader.
Which is Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, which is Chris. So people should be gunning for him.
And if you're curious, a fun fact about Chris, who's the guy playing for us right now, he is also the voice of the phrases that you hear in the game.
Yeah, he is the "you suck" guy.
And
winning.
How often do we plan to update with outfits and weapon skins? Oh man, how often do we plan not to update with weapons, and outfits and weapon skins?
We're hoping to have a very frequent update schedule with that kind of stuff. We haven't sort of nailed that down. Right now in closed beta, it's been every 2 weeks that we update the game. Hopefully it'll be at least around that, if not more sometimes. But we do have a lot of content that we've kind of been backlogging, so there's a lot of good stuff on the way. And not only are there's going to be new guns coming down the pipe, but new characters and even more maps. We're going to release with I think 5 to 6 maps. Someone asked earlier. So yeah, lots to come, and hopefully as frequently as you guys can take it.
So Baneshee is asking, what's your possible plans for supporting the esport movement now that the FPS community is desperate for a new FPS for esport?
We are planning to definitely do that. We're a community-driven game. We're about making the players happy. We want to listen to you guys. We want to give you what you want, and we know one of the things we want is to have the tournaments and clans and access to things that seem to be falling off a lot of the console titles right now, where they're focusing more on a lot of the pizzazz and less of some of the power user stuff. And we're definitely going to have some of that.
Duffel and Johnny, you're late, but you're here. I need a Mexican sombrero hat. Somehow that doesn't shock me.
But what can we do for the Irish?
I'm Irish. I don't want anything.
I don't want anything.
What kind of items are going to be accessible via real-life currency? Hopefully just skins and taunts and basically just cosmetics. Advantages in a game given by buying things will take out a lot of the fun in the free-to-play aspect. So one of the things about that is that our game, you can use in-game currency or real currency. So there is no advantage to doing either. Basically the idea is if you're going to pay real money, you're just you're getting rid of the amount of time it would have taken you to earn that coin otherwise. But you could buy anything and everything in the game that costs money with in-game coin or real money. It's completely up to you. You don't ever have to spend a cent if that's the way that you're going to play. It'll just take you longer to unlock that stuff. Is this the dramatic silence after
Yeah,
this?
no.
We're reading the comments.
Impact.
There's been a couple questions around. If I have to buy a weapon, that means this is pay to win. And we're working our hardest to make sure that all the weapons in offensive combat are good at different types of situations and good for different play styles and for different players. So the starting weapon is a good weapon, and many players choose to just keep using the default weapons that you start out with because they're very effective with it. We've got a question here from Ghost Guy. Says, will we be expecting a banana suit in the near future? Well, Ghost Guy 25.
You're about to see one. we already have it.
Also a panda suit for those of you who are into pandas. You name it, we want to add it if it's fun. We're always open to suggestions for new character appearances. So if you have something you're dying to see, post on our forums, and we'll see what we can do.
And one of the advantages of our approach is there's nothing that will prevent us from putting a character type in a game because it doesn't fit in the universe, because we're not realistic, or because we don't have some super complex, believable storyline that we have to follow. You can have a game where you have a realistic soldier in that game with a banana suit, or a pirate, as you can see right now. And here you can see some of the options that we're scrolling through. There's the banana suit, and just like that, he's now outfitted in the banana suit. And if you read the description there, it is peanut butter jelly time.
It's peanut butter jelly time.
That's right.
It's 3:45. That is peanut butter jelly time.
And Dan's going to disappear for a second because our laptop with the chat is running out of power, so he's going to grab a power cord. Really? So we might be able to show you something special with the banana suit. We're checking. We're working on it. We're going to have a peanut butter jelly time poem.
Sorry, we have some more noise
Yeah,
coming through.
the sound suddenly got louder. It's just really happy to be here.
That banana's really happy to
The
be
imp wants to know if there's any chance of a way to choose your game style. Do you see game types dying if that's possible? By game style, are you meaning the way that you play in terms of game rules, or do you mean in terms of the aesthetic style?
Why would game styles? We intend to keep working on various game styles. Different players. Obviously, there's a lot of different game styles out there, and as we continue to work on and develop the game, we're going to continue to add more game styles. We're testing another one in the office, and as soon as that starts looking good, we're excited to put it out there and see what you guys think.
There will be a very slight delay as our laptop died the second before we plugged it in. Yeah. So, how's it going, Mike?
It's going good. How are you?
Great.
It's peanut butter jelly time.
That's right.
We were. Did you find that pwn?
I did
It's
not.
not in there.
So it's not in there yet, but we will have a peanut butter jelly time specific pwn.
Yes.
And,
that's sort of a way early reveal.
And
but
it's also a really good time, I think, to remind people that if you're just joining us and you want a shot at the beta, as long as you head to euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com, go to the beta sign-up page, and which is right there on the front page for both websites. Put in your email. You will get a beta key tonight as long as you submit it before 11:59 Eastern, 8:59 Pacific.
we have monkeys on that right now.
That's right. Literally monkeys.
Monkeys.
They're cheaper.
They're illegal, but we have them. And my wife will kill me for saying that.
They do throw things.
No, the levels in the game, as you level up in the game, we reward you by unlocking different items in the corn store. So the levels, and you do unlock different perks which give you different options in game, but primarily the levels are there to gain access to content. You shouldn't, it's not like WoW where a max level player will completely dominate a level 1 player. It's really just to represent how much time the player has spent in the game and how much they've invested in it.
Hi, John. How are you? I'm excited to talk to you later on.
That's right, John. As John Clark says, he's someone that we're talking to right now about some cool things we have in the works. Cyber Sports Network. We have entered into a partnership with them, and we're going to be talking a lot about that very, very soon, as they will be telling you later on. But we're very excited about it. Is point of view an option in the game? From Burt Reynolds. You were fantastic in Boogie Nights. Is point of view an option in the game, or is it first person only?
Oh, it's definitely first person only. We in the future we are looking into letting you adjust your field of view, which a lot of players have been talking about. But point of view, first person only, no third person.
Unless you mean philosophically. In that case, liberals, conservatives, you're all welcome.
Yeah,
Moderates.
you can. If your point of view is I want to play close quarters, or your point of view I want to play long range, you can do that. It's your choice.
The Imp asks, why don't I get extra points for killing people in the middle of a pwn? For opponus interruptus, as we call it.
Michael?
That's a very good question. Noted. I think that's a good idea. That's
Yep.
Good idea. Thanks.
Good idea.
We're stealing it, maybe.
Yep.
yeah.
Is there a stealth style in the game? You could move really slowly if you want. But I mean, technically, there's...
If you don't fire, you don't show up on the mini-map. So there are some options there if you want to move slowly. Snipers can reposition themselves and not totally reveal their... there's also, there are some perks that allow you to play more stealthily.
Can you buy items for real money in the closed beta? No, you can't. It's a closed beta. Right now, we only have in-game currency. Eventually, as we open the game up more and it's no longer closed, we'll start to implement the real money system.
The game quite literally is free to play. There is absolutely no way we can take your money right now.
But if you want to donate it, feel free.
Llama Lips asks, can you rocket jump? No, you cannot. It's possible that we could add something like that in the future, but for now we've kept it simple.
But there are some levels with jump pads.
Yeah.
So if you are looking for that sort of super jump, there are a couple areas in those levels where that could apply.
Well, here's one. Aw damn. How do we get into the beta? That's actually not the question I wanted to read.
Well, let's answer that
Yeah.
because he did ask it. If you go to euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com, there are sign-up windows right in those pages. Sign up now between now and 11:59 Eastern Time, and you will get into the beta.
And we also have that information scrolling at the top of the screen, so if we set it too fast or you don't speak English or whatever it might be, you still won't be able to read it if you don't speak English.
So, Michael, I want to put you on the spot.
Sure.
Playwright asks, is there going to be co-op modes?
Yes, we are working on docs for those modes. That's about all I can say right now. But co-op modes are popular. I like them. So we're looking into how we're going to get those in the game and what we're going to do with that.
So Tone Fury says, isn't Raptor also good at doing a beta giveaway? They are. We have a bunch of beta giveaway partners. Raptor is one of them. GameSpot is another. IGN is one that we mentioned earlier. We also have a lot of the Twitch TV guys who are part of the community team there have been nice enough to distribute some keys for us as well. So we have quite a few beta folks. And we're going to have some even more beta key partners to talk about in the next week or so.
VG Zilix asks, female character is going to be added?
Yes, we're working on that. They're being slowly added into the game.
We
But
do
yes, we do have the Kara Loft.
Yeah, Kara Loft.
Kara Loft is in the
Trademark.
It's in the. she's a crypt robber.
That's right. That is her official title. Is Kara Loft Crypt Robber.
Crypt.
It is. It's what I put in the game.
Chris is shaking his head at us. He's like, "You guys are fools."
But she's in the closed beta now, so when you get into it, you can check her out. She is selectable, and we will have more in the future. We only have about, by the way, we only have about 5 minutes left before the stream is over, so we are going to try to answer these questions as quickly as we can.
How long do you estimate the closed beta, open beta release process to last? From a development standpoint, what does it look like for you guys after the game goes live? Possibly a thick client for people who don't want to play in the browser?
After the game goes live, our philosophy is games as a service, not games as a product. So once open beta is here, we're in service mode and we are supporting the game. So that service time will last as long as it's viable for us to do that.
Can we start a clan now, or do we have to wait until later, is another question we're getting.
You can start a clan now, and we will do as much as we can to accommodate early clans as we can. We have clan systems planned and they're in the schedule. They're just a little ways off. So.
And part of the advantage of that of them not being ready yet is that if you can let us know what you want to see, there's a really good shot that we could put some of those clan features in there for you. We want to make sure that the clan features that we support are really robust and are exactly what you guys are looking for. But we refuse to do clan tags. Just kidding, we'll have those.
Only Euphoria clan tags.
Standard Ace asks if we have a YouTube.
We do have a YouTube, but it's kind of a funny story in that there's a naming issue with it. So we'll give it to you when that's resolved. But in the meantime, you can just visit us here on Twitch TV, and all the videos that we've created so far are really only on Twitch TV outside of our initial trailer, which you can see on our website, and also at the beginning of our very first broadcast that we did.
There's a question: will there be any ranked clan gameplay? Michael.
It's a good feature to add.
These are exactly the sorts of things that
Yep.
we'd like to hear you say as we build towards that feature. So right now, technically, there's none of that because we're still working on it.
Yep.
But there definitely could be.
Yeah, as operating this as a service, it's a different model than when you build, say, like a console FPS, where everyone works really, really hard for a really long time, and they put it on a disc, and then it's very difficult to update the game. You have to go through certification, all those things. We will be constantly updating the game, even once we're in open beta and post-release. This really is a game that we operate as a service. So we want to respond to you and continue to add the features that are important to you, and honestly the features that we'd like to see in the game as well.
And yes, you can stream the game even though we're in closed beta. As another question that came up, you may stream the game. We have no problem with that. In fact, you can stream the game all you want. Do it all the time. Tell your friends. High five.
Yep. Spectators, we do have spectator mode in the beta right now. So when you first join a match, you'll be in spectator mode, and if you look over on the top right corner of the screen, it'll show you the different spectator modes like follow cam, free look, all that kind of stuff. So it's in there now.
So I think that's about it for this stream. I think we should say one last time.
Yep.
If you want in to play the game, right now in the closed beta, just head to euphoriagames.com or offensivecombat.com, and we will be more than happy to send you a key. It may take up to an hour or two to receive based on the volume of requests that we're getting, but you will get it as long as it's in by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, and we'll hook you up. We'll be back again next week, but we won't be back in this traditional sense that we're doing it now in front of a desk playing the game. We're actually going to be at QuakeCon. Michael, definitely, maybe some other Euphorians, along with the partnership that we're doing with the Cyber Sports Network. They'll have more on that later today on their own Twitch TV page.
It looks like John Clark from CSN is telling us to check our email. There's great news.
Great.
So
he sent me a check, probably.
Yep. Thanks for that money. We're going to be talking to CSN later on this evening. I think at 6 o'clock or 9 o'clock Eastern, if all is going well. So
Yes.
go on over to their stream in a couple hours, and we'll catch you there.
Yep. So until next time, thank you everyone for tuning
Yep.
in, and we'll see you next week. Take
Yes,
care.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.